Yo guys, it's Sam, and today Apple held their special event in September, and the moment we've all been waiting for. New iPhones are here. Apple announced 3 new iPhones today. The iPhone XR right here, single lens setup. We'll talk about all that's new in just a second, but also the iPhone XS, and not XS Plus as we thought it would be called, actually the iPhone XS Max. So these phones, they're very similar, but if you look a little bit closer, there are a ton of differences between the two. So I want to talk about what is different between the iPhone XR and the iPhone XS, and more importantly, which one is right for you. All right, before I jump into anything else, let's talk about pricing and availability for these iPhones. How much are they going to cost, and when can you get your hands on them? For the iPhone XR, starts a little bit more than I thought it would. It's $749 here in the United States, going on pre-order on October 19th, which is over a month in the future. We heard there would be production delays. Apparently that is clear now, and going on sale a week later on October 26th. Those are both Fridays. For the iPhone XS, that starts, not the Max model, but the 5.8-inch model starts at $999. Exact same price as the 5.8-inch iPhone X from 2017. A lot more expensive than I thought it was going to start at, and that goes on pre-order September 14th, and all the 2018 iPhone XS and XS Max models go on sale the Friday after this one on Friday, September 21st. Now, if you want to get the big screen iPhone this year, the iPhone XS Max, 6.5-inch screen, we'll talk about that in a second. You can buy it for $1,099. That is the starting prices. Now let's talk about screen size, processor, camera, and everything else you need to know about the 2018 iPhones. So if you're taking a look at all 3 of the 2018 iPhones and you didn't know the names, the biggest and easiest way to differentiate the models this year, just like in 2017, is going to be by the separate screen sizes. So starting with the iPhone XR, you have a 6.1-inch LCD screen that Apple is calling Liquid Retina. Apparently there is some new LCD technology here that nobody's really ever seen or that's been used before. I cannot wait to take a look at it for myself with a pixel per inch density on this phone of 326. So the same as the regularly sized iPhone 8. Step up to the iPhone XS, you're actually going back 0.3 inches to 5.8 inches, but this is a Super Retina OLED panel. So the true black colors on both the iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max, when you're looking at like the hashtag 000 true black color code, they're going to pop because with an OLED screen, the pixels are literally shutting off, where an LCD screen doesn't have the ability to do that. And if you go all the way up to the iPhone XS Max, again, it is an OLED screen here, measuring it at 6.5 inches diagonally. Here's a big difference though between the iPhone XS and the iPhone XR. Unfortunately, Apple removed 3D Touch because of the new screen technology on the iPhone XR. So if you want that 6.1-inch LCD model, you can't get 3D Touch. Instead, Apple has replaced it with a new feature called Haptic Touch, which is literally just pressing and holding rather than hard pressing or hard touching on something. So next up, let's talk about Face ID. This is the facial scanning technology that Apple first included with the iPhone X in 2017, and for anyone that was hoping fingerprint sensor would come back, we need Touch ID, we still want the home button. Sorry, but Apple is not going in that direction anymore. It is clear that they are moving forward with Face ID, and on all 3 of these models, they actually have the exact same new Face ID 2nd gen technology inside. Apple says Face ID is going to be faster than ever before this year. They didn't provide, I don't think, any exact statistics or numbers, but whether you get the iPhone XR, iPhone XS, or iPhone XS Max, you get the best and latest version of Face ID across the board, which is cool. And Apple follows the same trend this year with the processor. Rather than putting something like an A12.5 in one phone or an A12 in others, all 3 of the new phones, the iPhone XR, XS, and XS Max, get the latest processor from Apple, which they're calling the A12 Bionic. Now, last year, the A11 Bionic, and I think still today, the A11 Bionic chip from the iPhone X from 2017 is still the fastest chip on the market. Apple went a step further this year, bringing it up to the next level with the Apple A12 Bionic processor, and the stats they were talking about on screen at their keynote event were ridiculous. There is a 4 4-core GPU inside of this processor, a crazy new neural engine for processing things using artificial intelligence. Like, the processor is going to be ridiculous. And what's cool here is Apple gave you the same processor on all 3 of the new phones. So whether you get the iPhone XR, XS, or XS Max, you're getting the latest and best processor available, the Apple A12 Bionic chip, and it looks like it is going to be absolutely insane. I think the Apple engineering team has lost their mind. Next, things do get a little bit different with the camera setup, and without question, the camera is a super important part of any smartphone. It's the reason that I love shooting pictures on an iPhone, because the quality is so good in both photo and video, and Apple, again, has taken this technology even farther this year, not just on the premium iPhone XS and XS Max, but again, also on the lower cost or lower end iPhone at XR. So let's take a look at the specs here. Regardless of which iPhone you buy, the XR or the XS or the XS Max, you're getting a new 12 megapixel camera, primary wide angle lens on the back with bigger, and Apple says deeper, pixels. Now, some of the promo images they showed, of course, they're really impressive. They say they didn't modify them, they didn't use any attachments, straight from the iPhone camera, and they do. They look really, really incredible. Of course, I'll have to put that to the test myself in a future video, so make sure you are subscribed to see a camera test in the future. But where things definitely get different is with the iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max. You get 2 lenses instead of 1. A similar setup to what Apple put on the iPhone 8 Plus or iPhone X in 2017. If you want that portrait mode feature that so many of you love, you're going to have to step up to the iPhone XS or XS Max, because you do get a second 12 megapixel telephoto lens. For that, either zoom while you're standing still, you can go to a 2x optical zoom here, or portrait mode, which is a super cool feature that I really enjoy. Now, one other change that both the iPhone XR and the iPhone XS share is a pretty big feature this year. Dual SIM functionality finally present on the iPhone. Now, if you live in China, there's going to be a special version of the iPhone sold there that supports 2 different SIMs in the same tray, as in physical SIM cards that you put in your phone. If you have a model pretty much anywhere else, like in the United States, you can actually have an eSIM and a physical SIM inside. And the eSIM's crazy because it's electronic. Everything happens through the settings app on your phone. So you can switch carrier plans on the fly, sign up for a second phone number if you want to. It's going to be really cool, and I'm super excited to test it out. Now, up until this point, both the iPhone XS and the iPhone XR have been relatively similar. Like, they both have the same processors, they both have the same starting camera. A lot of the features are similar, but where things start to get really different is starting with storage here. So if you want to get the iPhone XR, it's available in 64, 128, or 256 gigabyte capacities. But if you get the iPhone XS, you can get double the storage that the iPhone XR can have. The iPhone XS will come in 128 gigabyte as the starting capacity, 256 is the mid-range option. Get this, a half a terabyte of storage at the very top, 512 gigabytes of storage as the max best tier iPhone XS you can get. And the 512 gigabyte option is available on both XS and at XS Max. So it is getting a little bit different now. If you want 512 gigabytes of storage and that's worth it to you, you will have to go up now from the XR to the iPhone XS. And this trend also continues with water resistance. On the iPhone XR, you have the IP67 waterproof or water resistance certification, which means you can put your iPhone XR in 1 meter of water for up to 30 minutes, and Apple says it should be totally fine when you take it out. Go over to the iPhone XS or iPhone XS Max though, you get twice the depth, so 2 meters of water for up to 30 minutes. Honestly, a pretty small difference, but if you are worried about dropping your phone in 2 meters of water, like, it'd probably be better to have the iPhone XS than the iPhone XR here. Probably some of the biggest differences between the iPhone XR and the iPhone XS stem from color availability. If you get the iPhone XS, 3 simple colors, 1 additional color on top of the iPhone X. You get white, black or silver, space gray, and gold. So gold is finally back for the premium iPhone XS and XS Max models. Go over to the iPhone XR though, take a look at all of these colors. You get white, black, blue, yellow coral, and for the first time, I think ever, Apple's offering the product red color on launch. You no longer have to wait until halfway through the release cycle. If you want product red, you can get it right away. You don't have to wait until March or April of 2019. They've got it on launch, and I think that's super cool. So if you want more colors, unfortunately, it's limited to the iPhone XR, and I could see Apple bringing product red to the iPhone XS and XS Max maybe in March or April of 2019. 2019, but for the most colors, go with iPhone XR. Next up is battery life, and every year Apple always has a very creative way to share the differences between last year's and this year's model. Sometimes they'll say the same great battery life, sometimes they'll say more. They never really say less. So this is how Apple describes it this year. For the regularly sized iPhone XS, you get 30 minutes more battery life than iPhone X. So the phone I'm holding right now should be 30 minutes worse performing with battery life than the new iPhone XS this year. iPhone XS Max is pretty crazy, 1.5 hours more battery than the 2017 iPhone X. And if you get the iPhone XR, they used a slightly different benchmark or point of comparison here. They say you're going to get 1.5 hours more battery life on the 2018 iPhone XR than the 2017 iPhone 8 Plus. So let me know your thoughts on battery life down below. Those are all the specs, all the comparisons. Let me know down below which one you're gonna get, if you plan on getting one, why you won't be picking one up this year, why you love Android. That's all for this video. Subscribe for more on the iPhone XR and XS in the future. And of course, hit like if you enjoyed this video. For now, I've been Sam. I hope you're doing great, and I'll see you in the next one.